sat too close that autumn night. You in corduroy, me in quiet. The kettle whistled, but we stayed in silences we never weighed. I saw the flicker in your glance, but neither moved to take the chance. We never lit that fire, though the room begged with desire. The logs were stacked, the match was near, but both of us held back the fear. We smiled like friends who almost knew, but didn't dare to see it through. We never lit that fire, but it still warms me when nights tire. You told me things you'd never share, like someone testing if I care. And I replied in half-formed notes, as if we walked on frozen boats. The flame was there, the kindling dry, but love needs more than just a try. We never lit that fire, though hearts lean close, a bit inspired. You brushed my sleeve, I held my breath, but let it pass like spoken death. And though we laughed and drank our tea, the air still cracked with what could be. We never lit that fire, but I still feel its phantom choir. Some flames don't burn, they just exist, like lines we thought of but dismissed. And maybe that's a kind of grace, to leave it pure, untouched by chase. We never lit that fire, but every fall I still inquire if somewhere deep you still recall that night we nearly risked it all. No ashes here, no smoke to show, but in my chest it set aglow. We never lit that fire, yet it's the one I'll never outgrow. You stopped laughing weeks before the suitcase ever touched the floor. You stopped calling me your light long before our final fight. And though your boots still lined the mat, your soul had slipped, I noticed that. I stayed, you left first, in silence shaped like something cursed. You stood right there, but not the same, a shadow dressed up in my name. I held the frame, you kept the dust. I stayed for love, you stayed for trust. But I stayed, and you left first, a soft departure unrehearsed. We made the bed, but not the vow. kissed my cheek, but not somehow the way you did when we were flame. Now every spark avoids my name. I watched you drift while staring still, and called that love by force of will. I stayed, you left first, in little words that once conversed. You drank the wine but not the toast. You walked beside but not that close. And when the night came cold and slow, I reached for warmth you didn't show. Yes, I stayed and you left first. That's what absence does at worst. Some people leave by walking out, but you left like a drying shout, like pages fading while still read, like saying home, then choosing instead. I stayed, you left first. No slam door, no spoken burst, just drifting breath and backward eyes, and all our truths in small disguise. Now I sleep where you once turned, still feeling all the things you burned. I stayed, you left first, and maybe that's what I deserved. We follow roads as far they'd been, past wooden signs that had no end, through cornfield skies and desert moons, with hearts like half-forgotten tunes. You said beyond here no one knows, but still we drove where silence grows, where the maps fade out, where no one talks and no one shouts, just wind and fence posts leaning right. No city lines, no motel light. We reached the edge where paper stops, and left our names on weathered rocks, where the maps fade out. We learn what life's about. We lost the signal, lost the song, but somehow didn't feel it wrong. Your hand was warm, your eyes were wide, like someone seeing from inside. We slept beneath a cedar tree and woke to birds that spoke like sea, where the maps fade out, no route to trace, no planned reroute. The stars became our only code as morning climbed an unnamed road. No border drawn, no time to spare, just you and me in open air, where the maps won't survive still dreams of where it comes alive, where the maps fade out, where trust is more than knowing how, where days aren't measured by a mile, but by the way behind a smile. I never asked if you'd stay true, I just kept walking next to you. Where the maps fade out was where I found you. The porch still leans the way it did when you leaned back and softly hid a cigarette, a bitten smile. Your words hung there for just a while, and though the steps are cracked and worn, the space still breathes the way you're gone. Rain fell where you stood, not on the grass, not on the wood, but right where you once said my name. Like heaven tried to frame the blame. The drops hit hard, the wind turned slow, as if the sky refused to know. Rain fell where you stood, like it understood, like it understood. The garden tried to bloom that year, but soil forgot what roots hold dear. The fence you leaned on won't align, it tilts like time forgot its spine. And every April smells like then, but never brings you back again. Rain fell where you stood, in that old coat with hidden hood. It hit the earth like half goodbyes, like poems lost in lullabies. I watched it pour and didn't run, just stared until the clouds were done. Rain fell where you stood, and nothing else could. They say the sky don't pick its place, but I swear it knew your shape, your face. And though the storm is come and gone, that patch of ground still reigns alone. Rain fell where you stood, not anywhere the way it should. It didn't care for roof or shade, it only knew the mark you made. And now when storms come rolling slow, I watch that spot still take the blow. Rain falls where you once stood, and I still would. The house was cold, the fire out, The night was thick with silent doubt. I found her coat behind the chair, still hanging with her in the air. It smelled like rain, like wind, like grace, like something time forgot to trace. I slept in her coat that night, held the sleeves like holding light. It wrapped me soft, it wrapped me gone to places where we still belong. No lullaby, no second chance, just fabric caught in half a dance. I slept in her coat, not for the heat, but for the ghost I couldn't meet. I didn't cry, I didn't speak, but felt her laugh in every creak. The zipper tugged like pulling back, a moment lost along the track. She left no note, just scent thread, but that's the thing that speaks instead. I slept in her coat again, like laying down beside what's been. No pillow spoke, no window stirred, just borrowed warmth and borrowed word. It didn't fit, it didn't close, but somehow fit my heart the most. I slept in her coat just to feel the only part of her still real. Somewhere grief in silent clothes, in flannel denim lace or prose, but I wore her in woolen thread and dreamed of things we never said. I slept in her coat once more, on the hallway rug behind the door. And when the dawn came soft and gray, I hung it back, then walked away. But every night since that retreat, I miss the warmth that didn't speak. I slept in her coat and knew it then. I'd never quite wear love again. I lit it once, back in July, when your coat still hung nearby. I meant to blow it out by fall, but never did, just let it call. Its flame was small, but never died, like all the words I left inside. The candle that stayed lit through every storm and quiet split. No wind could take it from its post. It burned for you, the very most. It wasn't loud, it wasn't grand, just warmth you'd feel but wouldn't plan. The candle that stayed lit outlasted when your shadow quit. I watched it flicker through the news, through songs we loved and unpaid dues, through winter's breath and window frost. It stayed though everything I lost. And even when I left the room, its glow still whispered like perfume. The candle that stayed lit held memory without permit. It wasn't meant to shine that long, but it outlived our favorite song. No match could start what it became. It burned not fire but your name. The candle that stayed lit now lights the space where you once fit. Some loves explode, some loves resign, but this one just refused the line. And while the dark came slow and sure, that flame kept dancing like it knew her. The candle that stayed lit still sits beside the photograph you knit. No one's here to trim its wick, but still it burns, quiet and quick. And if you ever do return, you'll find the light that dared to burn. The candle that stayed lit, like me, too stubborn to admit.
The static cleared around track 2. Then came a laugh I thought I knew, a whispered line about the rain, and I swear it pulled me back again. It wasn't her, or so I guessed, but it hit like something half confessed. A voice on the radio that sounds like her, like wind inside a weathered blur. It said, this one's for the hearts that ache, and I forgot which path to take. She's not a DJ, not a star, but I'd follow that sound wherever you are. A voice on the radio that sounds like her. Turn my steering wheel into a blur. She spoke between two country songs about lovers lost and holding on. The way she said, I miss the fall, felt just like our old porch and walls. I tried to catch the station's name, but the signal slipped like blame. A voice on the radio that sounds like her, like dreams that drift but don't occur. It filled the car with warmth and sting, like late July places we prefer. Maybe it's just the darkened wind, or the way some wounds don't ever mend. But every time that station plays, I pray her ghost has more to say. A voice on the radio that sounds like her still turns my nights to yes and word. It plays like fade with perfect tone and leaves me reaching toward the phone. But no one's there, just whisper sound, still circling that haunted round. A voice on the radio. They laid him down on a Tuesday rain. No flowers bought, no grand campaign, just flannel sleeves and boots half tied, and stories whispered, none denied. He wasn't loud, he wasn't clean, but damn, he lived in between. And the last song played at his funeral was one he wrote but never sang. A tape they found behind the stove, full of rust and no name tag. It cracked and hissed like old regrets, but held the truth he never said. The last song played at his funeral brought back the love he once had fled. The preacher paused, unsure what to do, so they let the chorus echo through. Just chords and lines in gravel tone of nights he spent out on his own. No organ swells, no polished hymn, just what was left inside of him. The last song played at his funeral didn't climb, didn't cry, didn't plead. It just sat there like a folded shirt, full of stains and open knee. No key change, no crescendo, just a man trying to understand. The last song played at his funeral was softer than they thought he'd be. Some don't leave with marble words, they leave with notes they never heard. And in those lines they once denied, you hear the parts they kept inside. So the last song played at his funeral played like dust across a flame. wrote you lines with trembling hands from motel desks and borderlands. Stamped each thought with quiet grace and prayed you'd read my messy place. But they came back one by one, marked return and underdone. Letters returned unopened, like prayers left in the rain. Each word I chose got frozen in that silence you ordained. No postmark of forgiveness, no ink to ease the pain, just letters returned unopened, and a heart you won't explain. The paper smelled of midnight smoke, of songs and truths we never spoke. I sealed regret behind my name, but you just sent it back the same. You didn't burn, you didn't cry, just sent it like you walked on by. Letters returned unopened, like ghosts without a face. No tears, stains, or erasures, just the coldness of your grace. No note inside that said I'm fine, no scribbled lines or sign, just letters returned unopened, and a love that's out of time. They say that words can bridge the space, but not when they're refused a place. And now my thoughts live in a pile, stamped unbroken out of style. The letters returned unopened now live in my top drawer, still folded with the hope I had when I slipped them past your door. And maybe one day you'll unfold the things I never could withhold. Till then, they rest unopened, like the heart you once controlled. It wasn't love she left behind, no photograph, no parting line, no sweater draped across the bed, no lipstick stained goodbye she said. Just one small mirror in the dash, folded shut, no trace of ash. The mirror she left in your glove box still holds the light from nights gone soft. Her face, the ghost it used to frame, now only shows your eyes in shame. No perfume scent, no diamond shine, just your reflection out of time. The mirror she left in your glove box
pass it once or twice, on long drives full of bad advice. But something in its quiet way felt closer than the hands of fate. It never cracked, it never spoke, but every glance a kind of smoke. The mirror she left in your glove box still watches you at every stop. No radio or passing town can quiet what it keeps around. She never wrote, she never called, but left the thing that says it all. The mirror she left in your glove box reflects the fall you can't outwalk. Some leave letters, some leave scars. She left silence between stars. And while your hands are on the wheel, the glass reminds you how to feel. The mirror she left in your glove box still waits beneath the twist and lock. And if you dare to lift the lid, you'll see the man who never did. Say what he should, or hold you close. Now all he keeps is what she chose. The mirror she left in your glove box.
I wore that watch since I was 10, passed down from some forgotten friend. It ticked through storms and wedding vows, through coffee cups and late night rows. But sometime past 11:43, it froze while she walked out on me. A watch that stopped the night she left. No reason why, no gears bereft, just hands that chose to hold their place, like time refused to show its face. And though I wound it, begged and shook, it stayed right there like how she looked. A watch that stopped the night she left, still tied around my quiet chest. The second hand won't play along like all the lines in our old song. And though the frame is scratched and worn, it beats more truth than I've ever sworn. I took it in, the man just said, this kind of thing won't fix what's dead. A watch that stopped the night she left won't march ahead, won't mourn what's next. It's stuck in what I didn't say, between her keys and cab light gray. And every time I check the time, it just reminds me she was mine.
Some clocks are made to mark the nights we can't evade. And when they break, it isn't chance, it's fate refusing one more dance. A watch that stopped the night she left still marks the loss I can't accept. It sits in drawers and midnight thoughts, amongst receipts and coffee spots. And though the world has moved ahead, it keeps the hour I last bled. A watch that stopped the night she left still ticks in all I never said. It starts with static, then her breath, a little laugh, afraid of depth. She says, hey, it's me, just thought I'd call, like it meant nothing much at all. There's traffic humming in the back, and years of silence in the cracks. The last voicemail she left still plays inside my chest. No big goodbye, no final plea, just pieces of what used to be. And every word she didn't say sings louder than the ones that stayed. The last voicemail she left, a ghost I never could forget. She talked about a book we shared, a line she underlined then stared. She said, I hope you're doing fine, I miss your songs around this time. Then silence paused like it might break, but ended with a clean heartache. The last voicemail she left still echoes past my breath. It wasn't long, it wasn't clear, but God, it still brings her near. And every half-formed memory feels sharper than it ought to be. The last voicemail she left still haunts the part I can't reset. I should have called, I should have tried, but we all lose what we can't confide. And now her voice is just a sound that lives when no one is around. The last voicemail she left still plays inside regret, like vinyl hiss, like autumn wind that never finds its home again. I never pressed delete that day, it's proof she didn't fade away. The last voicemail she left still says the things I never said.
I left the keys in the motel drawer, checked out with boots still wet from the floor. Gas station coffee, bitter and thin. Another town I won't come back to again. There's a radio playing some Springsteen line about hearts on fire and borrowed time. And I'm driving toward the westbound sky, chasing shadows I can't justify. Rear view full of things unsaid. Mile by mile I lose what I fled. Maybe freedom's just a lie, but I'll keep chasing that westbound sky. The diner girl with the crooked smile said we all run, but stay a while. I nodded, paid, and hit the street with ghosts asleep in the passenger seat. She said, "You look like someone gone too far." I said, "That's just how some people are." And I'm driving toward the westbound sky, where goodbye always feels bone dry. I talk to roads, to signs, to songs, pretend they answer all that's wrong. Maybe love was just a try that burned beneath this westbound sky. No map, no call, no hands to hold, just yellow lines and nights gone cold. But something in the way clouds break feels like the soul this world can't fake. So I'm driving toward the westbound sky till the ache runs out or reasons die. And if I fade behind the wheel, at least I chased what might be real. The kind of dream you can't deny when you belong to the westbound sky. Chair still leans the way she sat, a sweater draped, forgotten flat. The coffee stain beneath her name still circles like an old refrain. She left, but not with a lock or seal, just faded into what was real. The memory left open, no hinge, no word was spoken, just pages flutter in the air of moments hanging half aware, not torn, not broken. The memory left open, like hearts too soft to say it's over. The photo frames still face her side, as if she stepped out just to hide. like stories paused but never read. And every door she once passed through still waits like something love once knew. The memory left open still leans on what's unspoken. No curtain pulled, no final chord, just echoes dressed in soft accord. No token, no omen. The memory left open, a vow unsaid, a truth unchosen. Some leave with weight, some leave with light, but she just left the switch at night. And now the dark feels not quite done, as if she might return for one. The memory left open, like sky that won't be woken. It holds me here between two frames where silence whispers half her name. No tear, no motion. The memory left open, and time forgets how to begin. She used to lean upon the pane, with morning light across her frame. The glass would fog where she would breathe, then clear with words she'd never leave. But now it only frames the trees. No silhouette, no warmth, no keys. What the window held has long since been dispelled. No trace of hand, no gaze remains, just light that bends through empty panes. No tale retell what the window held was gone before I even knelt. The curtain sways without her there, a dance with ghosts that left nowhere. And though the sun still finds its line, it doesn't catch what once was mine. The birds still fly beyond the glass, but none reflect the time we passed. What the window held no longer can be spelled. It kept her glance, her Sunday hum, her whispers soft as kettles drum. But now no meld. What the window held is just the sky where day once dwelled. They say that glass remembers shape, but even it can't hold escape. And so I sit and barely blink, as if the past could learn to sink. What the window held has quietly been shelled. No voice to press, no frame to trace, just silence dressed in outer space. No tear expelled. What the window held was all I lost but never felt.
They say that glass remembers shape, but even it can't hold escape. And so I sit and barely blink, as if the past could learn to sink. No tear expelled what the window held was all I lost, but never felt.
We sat in chairs too close to speak. The floorboards sighed beneath our feet. The tea had cooled, the clock stood still. No sound to chase, no voice to fill. The distance wasn't in the miles, but in the weight behind our smiles. Until the quiet sank like rain in riverbank. We didn't shout, we didn't cry, just watch the daylight wander by. No plan, no prank, until the quiet sank and took us both without a flank. The radio had lost its tune. The curtain swayed a sleepy swoon. She looked at me, then looked away, like words were ghosts that dared not stay. No candles burned, but still we knew that silence does what flames can't do. Until the quiet sank, we drifted slow and blank. Our fingers curled but didn't meet, like songs unfinished, incomplete. No draw, no yank, until the quiet sank and love went down without a thank. Some say the end comes loud and wide, but ours just slipped beneath the tide and left us standing side by side, like strangers in a shrinking ride. Until the quiet sank and left our ledger blank. No ink, no echo, just a hush that swept our names in one soft brush. No act, no rank, until the quiet sank and all that held us came uncranked. She spoke so soft I had to lean, her voice a thread, a silken seam.
But when she stopped, the room grew loud with things she never said aloud. Her final word was plain and small, but left a weight I can't recall. Beneath the sound she left were truths she never kept. A silence deeper than the note that clung like buttons on her coat. No scream, no theft, just sound she left, and what it buried in my chest. I play her voice on tape again, but all I hear is cold within. The way her breath would catch and pause like tides retreating from a cause. She didn't cry, she didn't plead, but left a wound that doesn't bleed. Beneath the sound she left were questions I still heft, like chords that hung without resolve, like poems time refused to solve. No tone, bereft, just sound she left, in silence stitched between each cleft. They say goodbye is shaped by tone, but hers left shadows not her own. And now the quiet hums her name through walls that haven't been the same. Beneath the sound she left, my heart still takes a breath, expecting echoes that won't come, just resonance that makes me numb. No voice, no cleft, just sound she left, and all the truths she tucked beneath. Beneath the sound she left, my heart still takes a breath. I wrote her name on notebook lines with ink that blurred through crossing times. It used to shine with golden grace. Now every letter hides a face, and when I speak it, it feels wrong, like echoes tone that stay too long. Shadows under her name, no fire left, no flame, just shapes of what I can't recall. The rise and fall of nothing small, no claim swallow deep, each curve decay, each vow asleep. And still I stand with open palms, but hold no voice, no heat, no qualms. Shadows under her name, like footprints drowned in rain. No photograph could draw her whole, just blurred out lines where time took toll, too dim to frame. Just shadows under her name, and I don't whisper it the same. Some names survive in songs and stone, but hers just left me more alone. A word once bright with breath and spark now barely stirs the quiet dark. Final battles under her name is all that still remains. No syllable can bring her back, no melody can fill the crack. Just dusk, no flame, shadows under her name. And I forgot the way she came.
She smiled but didn't hold the line. Her laughter cracked just past the spine. She spoke but paused before each word, like every sound no longer stirred. I felt her hand slip from my knee, like wind that's leaving from the sea. Before the sky turned, the light was thin and stern. The sun still shone, but with a sigh, like even it had learned goodbye. The blue still burned before the sky turned, but love already ceased to yearn. She moved around like she was gone. Her body stayed but drifted on. The coffee cooled before her sip. Her name began to lose its grip, and in her gaze I saw a gate. She'd found the key, I found the way. Before the sky turned, I saw the quiet churn. The leaves all trembled without breeze. The minutes slowed like aching knees. No flame discerned. Before the sky turned, but something left that won't return. We think the sky must first go black before we know she won't come back. Some goodbyes are made of haze,
losing all its blaze before the sky turned. She whispered with concern, not for herself, but for the end that neither lover could defend. No wrath, no spurn, before the sky turned. She let go softer than the wind.
I wrote her notes in quiet hours between the rain and wilting flowers. I placed them where she'd surely see, beside the mug, beneath the key. But days went by, the pages stayed, still folded neat, still inked and frayed. Letters left unread, stacked like words I never said. No scribbled lines could change her mind, no tear-stained thoughts could make her kind. She never bled for letters left unread, and I still write them in my head. Postman came, the doorbell rang, but silence always softly sang. I wrote of love and little things, of coffee cups and wedding rings. Put all my hope in pen and thread, lay still in drawers of things unsaid. Letters left unread became the things I dread. 1,000 lines she'll never know, 1,000 ways I let her go. Still gently led by letters left unread, each word a ghost I softly fed. Some hearts replied, some disappeared, some read with eyes, but never hear. And mine was left to write alone, on paper cold as polished stone. Letters left unread now fill the space instead of answers, hands, or final talks. Just paper aging in a box. No thread, no red, just letters left unread, in silence where footsteps fled. She closed the door but left no sound, just shifted air and settled ground. The clock still ticks the way it did, but echoes louder where she hid. Each room retains her turning glance, like silence waiting for a dance. Echoes in her wake quake, just echoes in her wake. And every step I take still stalls. Her mug remains upon the sill. The tea long cold, the window still. A book half read with dog-eared page still hums with her, still holds her stage. I try to speak, but breath won't bend, for echoes do not comprehend. Echoes in her wake, the sound the silence makes when someone leaves but won't let go of all the things they used to know. No give, no take, just echoes in her wake, and haunting like the dusk will show. She's gone in body, not in tone. She's absence that I walk alone. And every word I think to say returns in her forgotten way. Echoes in her wake, like footsteps I mistake for hers, though I've long known the truth. The air still smells of borrowed youth. No song to fake, just echoes in her wake, and I've grown used to her ache. I didn't fight the silent room. The air had carved a kind of tune, but not for death, not grief too loud, just space where she no longer bowed. I sat and let the daylight fade, and felt the shape that silence made. The quiet took me like rain takes stone, not with a crash, but slow and known. It didn't ask, it didn't plead, it just became the way to be. No voice, no key, the quiet took me, and there somehow she stayed with me. I found her breath in stillborn hours, in dust that danced on window flowers. She wasn't gone, she wasn't near, she lived in pause, not sound or tear. And every sigh I used to stall now answered like a ghosted call. The quiet took me with patient hands. No tide, no storm, no bold demands. Just hush where memories unfold, like paper thoughts too soft
The quiet took me, and I gave in. Not loss, not lack, but soft within. I closed the door, turned off the light, and found her there without a fight. No need to see. The quiet took me.